as per your recommendations, I started dabbling in PTing in the 70s. So I've been setting myself up with some flexes here and there, and it's been going really well. I think I'm in an ideal position. Okay, so I want to raise my goal score is 10 points. So I have a little bit under 3 months to raise it by 10 points, and I think I can do that. Um, I think I can do that if I approach these next 11 weeks with strategy, which is what I'm hoping to talk to you about today.
Yeah, absolutely, Will. You've got plenty of time to get there. You've really invested a lot in your review process, better understanding not just the problems, but the entire process around better understanding the problems. So I think you're in really good shape to go even deeper on strategy. Happy to talk over whatever you like. But I mean, we're speaking now end of October. You've got plenty of time to make anything happen.
Yeah, I feel that way. As long as, I keep my cool, keep the meditation going.
Yeah.
I'm in. So there's a few things. So I'll just jump in terms of that strategy. I'm in I guess it's a tough position in terms of my own perspective so far, because on my last few PTs, my reading comp, logic games, and LR scores have actually been about the same.
Hmm.
So, I logic games, I believe I can get to a -0 on that with my strategy and my timing. I'm feeling like I'm tightening that up every time. I do have specific goals for LG in terms of, I think, just getting a better grip on holding that short-term memory of the rules and their consequences. Just that finessing of being able to calmly, in a very calm manner, grasp it in the original diagramming, and then carry that sort of little, like, I almost like imagine like packing my purse or like packing a bag and like carrying the bag with me through the questions, ditching the bag, and then the next game. So one of the strategies I have for tightening that up is first of all, just maybe like taking a grounding breath until I get more used to the pace. I'm still tightening that. And then like memory apps, like a memory app, or deleting my social media. I feel like it's time. I'm like 11 weeks out. I've been sort of dancing around it. And what do you think about that in terms of tightening up the memory of the rules, like letting go of social media or limiting it, this amount of hours on Saturdays or something ridiculous, and also maybe some memory apps.
Yeah, I think those are all great ideas. One app or game that has some general loose relation to games as well as short-term memory is called Dual in Back.
Mm-hmm.
DUAL letter N back, like dual and back. And it's basically used to train short-term memory. It's difficult, it's challenging, it's fun. And so that could be useful there just to build that skill. And then I also love the idea of turning off social media, putting it on pause, at least till after the LSAT. It really is contrary to everything around focus. As you know, focus is so important for the LSAT versus that instant feedback, which you're not going to get on test day, but you do get with social, or at least the potential of instant feedback. So I would definitely support just cutting it out altogether. I mean, limiting is also good. I mean, the social media companies some of them even have ways to track how much time you spend on them to
Sure.
give you limits. But in my view, if they're in support of it, it's probably not enough. So I would go a bit further and just maybe cut it out altogether till after the LSAT.
Yeah, I really love hearing that perspective from you. I know I remember reading a blog post that you put something up on your computer where you couldn't go on certain websites, like a blocker.
Yeah,
Was
there are all different blockers, like Chrome extensions, for example, to just block certain sites altogether.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's super relief. I know, like, I'm also kind of like part of my LSAT strategy is like holding space for myself. I'm going into a holiday season where I'm sort of already prepping myself mentally. Like, I don't want to say like I don't need this holiday season. Like, I'm still gonna have fun. I don't want anyone to think I'm like crazy, but yeah, I'm definitely practicing holding space for myself. And when I first thought about leaving out socials, I'm quarantining, and so like quarantine with no socials, I sort of like had this panic, and I'm like, it's 11 weeks. Like, I feel pretty good about that, especially if I feel like I know exactly what I need to top my LG score, and that's it. It's just holding that short-term memory with the rules, bringing it with me throughout the questions. question strategy I'm pretty good at. But just moving forward with that, thanks so much for your help. My logical reasoning strategy, I've gotten pretty tight at stimulus, eliminating 3 answer choices, last 2. And it's a really simple thing to fix, is knowing exactly what I'm looking for, like knowing what relationship I'm trying to bridge, or what sort of flaw I'm looking for, and then falling into the trap answer because I'm trying to go fast, right? I'm feeling the heat of the clock, really normal. So I just sort of instated like a new rule for myself, just for the next few PTs or next few sections of, okay, when I get to the bottom 2, I just do a pulse check. And I just ask myself, is this really talking about the relationship that I'm looking for? So that to me seems like a simple fix. What do you think about just instating like that rule of like, okay, pulse check, foot off of the gas for a moment?
Yeah, just a moment to pause, check that everything is going smoothly before continuing. Yeah, I think that's a good step to add into your flow, really, for anything.
Right.
Yeah, so like
Right,
for
right.
games, do you have the rules right? Do you have the inferences right? Double checking that passage. Did you really get the main idea versus something that simply is technically true but not the focus?
Yeah. You're right on like applying that strategy to everything, because that is how I got faster at my logic games. Like reading through everything, and then I for a while I don't have to do it so much. Like I was like, put your pen down and like just check, and then pick up the pen and like rip through the game. But like that pause, and then eventually that doesn't have to be there anymore. But that to me, I feel like will fix my LR, that one problem, as well as just getting like a reflexibility to just in a flexible way identify flaws, like have this such a tight grip on it that every flaw question, have the expectation for myself that I should be getting that right. So just getting more comfortable with flaws, and I feel like that'll help. And then with my reading comp strategy, I have this idea right now. It's mostly just comfort. Like I'll be getting through, I think a little bit on my reading comp right now. I'm like almost a little bit like beginner's luck. I know that you've mentioned it too before, of maybe like intuitively somebody is picking up on certain things. But I still definitely need to strengthen my reading comp. My question for that with you is that sort of an overall question is that I'm 11 weeks out, 1 PT a week. I'm scraping like 11 PTs before my first, which I'm not totally, that's okay. That's okay with me. But eventually I would like to do 2 PTs, maybe every other week, as like 2, 1, 2, 1, just to get more practice in there. But as I'm trying to tighten up these like individual sections, especially with reading comp, where if I have a feeling I'm sort of sliding by, then I probably am, because like I know my skill set in logic games. I know my skill set in logical reasoning. Reading comp, I'm generally surprised, when I'm doing well, which is like a sign to me that I'm not I don't have a good grip on it. So my question is, should I be prioritizing this the flex, 1 1 1, and then doing these deep reviews, and maybe on the side like some smaller skill sets of each 3, or should I still be prioritizing just one section timed, just one section timed, just one section timed? I guess I'm confused on if I should be prioritizing the pace or getting deeper into those 3 sections individually.
That's a great question. So if you're doing, your default plan is to do at least 1 PT timed per week. So 3 sections back to back, 1 of those per week. Maybe some weeks you'll do 2, maybe alternating weeks you add on a second PT.
Definitely.
On top of that, that sounds like a perfect plan to me, given everything you've done up to this point to build your foundation. Like you've got the foundation down. So at this point, it is about full length exams for you. And those 3 section exams will also help you with pacing too. Now, on top of that, if you're noting that reading comp is the area lacking confidence, that's where I would devote additional time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So some deeper dives on that. By the way, how has your experience been in the reading comp deep dive sessions I've been doing in the course?
You know what? I've been copycatting you because
Yeah.
it's been working. It's been
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been working. I've actually been taking that exact format and bringing it to my own individual study groups that I found through your course. Like, meeting people throughout your course. And then we now meet really consistently. We have a hard schedule and we really do that, read it through, talk about main point out loud to one another, talk about, well, do you really think that's important to the main point? Just tightening up our language and our ideas of it. Organization, structure, things that pick this off. I think what's really helpful about it and with your reading comp is really spending time with the passage, because, not obviously it's another skill set to work through answer choices, but I always imagine as like packing my suitcases before I get on the train. Like if I don't spend enough time, like if I don't understand what I've just read, your suitcase is not packed and you get on the train, it's like clothes are just flying all over. Like, you got to pack it correctly. So I've actually been copying your
Perfect.
your reading comp deep dives. Yeah.
Perfect. So that's exactly what I would recommend that you continue doing. And you're doing these study sessions multiple times a week with others in the course. That's great. Keep that going. Make reading comp a focus for your prep aside from the full length exams, and you'll get there.
Okay. That was really helpful in terms of just, I'm like, should I still be doing timed? Or separately, or, but I agree with you in terms of one of my biggest priorities is pacing and endurance. Just the endurance, when I am doing the timed, I'll hit a certain wall where I just am like, oh, can I please stand up now? And, just getting used to that. I'm sure I'll get used to it, but the thought creeps in, I imagine if it's like, if you're trying to swim a long distance, you're like, can someone just throw me the inflatable raft or something? But that's how I feel sometimes in the middle of flex. So it's good to know that where I'm at right now in sort of my loose plan of continuing to prioritize the full tests right now is a good tip. And also focusing on those deep dives in the reading comps, especially just talking it out the way that you pave the way and show us to do, read it, talk about it, figure it out, just sort of go through it. It helps to get out of your own head. And when you have to articulate what you think about it to someone else, the spotlight's kind of on you in a safe way to figure out if you really know what you're talking about. So this is really good. My last question is just about logic games. Say I understand the value in repeating logic games, if you get a -1 on it because of a silly mistake, a dumb mistake, dumb mistake is still a mistake. And my favorite part about those is that they're fixable. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Just, fix that. Just don't do that again. Yeah. So in terms of redoing a game, for review purposes and just making sure that you're getting that as efficiently as possible, do you recommend doing the same game the same day? Or should I be waiting a week?
I would probably wait a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to remember too much that's going to help you. Mm-hmm. And a little bit of distance, some other things in between could make a difference there.
Okay, cool. All right. Those are all my questions. Yeah, great.
Awesome, Melissa. Well, it was great connecting with you as always, and I'll see you in class soon.
All right. Awesome. Bye, Steve.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.